What is up, Reds? We're back. Welcome back to the Sunday Summary. It's been a while, and man, am I excited to talk about the definition of what a transition is today. Jesus Christ, I couldn't wait this morning. What's going on, Steve? Everyone in the chat, what's up? How we been? What's going on?
I am lovely. I'm glad to be back with all of you beautiful people. Thanks to those of you who are regulars here, and thanks to some of the new names I don't necessarily recognize. Rommel? I don't think I recognize you. You got a lot to say this morning, so we'll be excited to hear what you're rambling on about. And then everybody else, good morning. Liz, Ian, Ryan. Sorry if I've missed anybody. Jody. I think that covers most of it. And Glace, legend. We're all here. Ready to keep the ball rolling.
It's good to be back. Ross, what's going on? Thanks everyone for tuning in. And we had some time off. It's good to refresh. It's not too much to talk about today, but I wanted to touch on a few things. There were some articles that came out, and there was also some news about the players that stayed behind from international break. Arthur, the reports suggested, we'll just open up with Arthur. Like I said, there's not a lot to talk about, but we could touch on all of this stuff. Arthur stayed back from international break, or supposedly sat out from Brazil training or, international training or whatever, to play with the U21s, hire his own fitness coach, and really kind of immerse himself in the, Liverpool fitness requirements by basically doing just that, having his own fitness program, getting his diet right, and playing with the U21s, getting extra minutes in his legs. Because apparently Klopp said that he's nowhere near where he needs to be. So, Steve, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, number one. And, of course, guys, leave your thoughts in the chat. And, Liz, we got a super chat coming in. Happy Sunday Summary, $5 super chat from Liz, always supporting the channel. Thank you very much, Liz. And, Steve, take it away, my man.
Where would we be without Liz?
Honestly, nowhere. Liz is not single-handedly, but she's holding the show up, man. Thank you, Liz.
Liz, we love you. Okay. My thoughts on Arthur. My first thought is just playing like the other side of the coin here is, well, can't the scouts figure out if he has enough fitness, if his physical fitness is in the right place before you buy him? Or I suppose also because it was last minute, maybe they didn't really have time to do the full due diligence in researching this guy. But that's the last thing you want to hear, is that his fitness isn't where it needs to be. That being said, I think he's doing the right thing. He clearly wants to make an impact here. He wants to fit into the system. He wants to do what Klopp and the club asks of him, which is great to see. I just wish it wasn't the case, but he seems like a good person, and he's doing the right steps. He did play for the U21s. To be frank, I didn't watch it. But if you did, you let me know. What'd you see?
I just checked out the highlights. Him and Carvalho were playing. Nat Phillips played a little bit too. I mean, dude, I was watching it. I was like, this is he got dispossessed a few times by these kids. I was like, all right, I need to actually watch some highlights of this guys, because I wasn't impressed. But before I get into that and the highlights, I want to thank my mother as well, always supporting the channel. $10 super chat. Thank you. No message, but she's always here supporting, always watching, always listening. So thanks, Ma.
It was meant to be an anonymous donation without the message, but still the name pops up.
Wait, is that really what it said? Is that what that's supposed to be?
No. I'm just making a joke.
God.
In light of these dark times in the chat.
Oh my God, dude, Rommel, we pissed off Rommel something serious. I mean, this guy is in his basement just heated about Americans talking about football. I mean, dude, it's actually crazy. Anyway,
well, let's actually take a quick pause here and address this before we go any further. Americans listening to American propaganda. The owners are leeching the club. Transition, shush symbols. Laughing symbols.
No, shush, right? Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah. Go follow the 600 million Penguins, guys. Okay, I get the Penguins joke because of FSG. Fun fact about me, I didn't watch a single hockey game all season. Couldn't care less. this is not something that I'm interested in whatsoever. The same goes for the NBA. Barely watch the NBA all season. I watch the EPL, the Champions League, and the NFL. And Rommel, I can almost guarantee that I invest more time and I know more about the situation of the club and the sport than you do. That being said, I'm going to let Kyle take over here because he seems to know more or like have some ideas on this transition you speak of. And this buzzword transition, Rommel, I'm a little confused as to why that's ticked you off. But I really do hope your day turns around and you get out of the basement and get some fresh air and can, see the birds, go for a walk, drink some cold water, things of that nature.
Look, guys, the transition, there's an article in One Football that came out. I believe it was One Football. Let me just break it down for you. Transition simply means what players are going to be part of Klopp's new starting 11. We've already started this. Mane went, Minamino left, Divock Origi left. We've already started this transition. Next players to go will likely be Oxlade-Chamberlain, Nat Phillips, maybe even Naby Keita if we don't extend him. It's not a buzzword. It's what happens in sports. All right?
I think it's a difference I think he thinks something else. You're talking about something else.
We're bringing up some trauma from his childhood about transition, and he's like pissed off about it. I don't know.
Well, he didn't. This started before we started the show.
Yeah, we weren't even in the stream yet.
He read the title that you put up. God knows when, maybe last night, and it triggered something in him. But Rommel, crazy. By transition, we mean there are things happening at the club. Every year there's a transition.
Every single year, bro.
There isn't much to talk about right now aside from Arthur and rest in peace to the Queen because we haven't played. So we're thinking ahead to potential changes that could happen in January, things that could happen towards the end of the year, because really right now there is almost nothing to report on in the club. If you want to bash FSG, you go ahead and have your way with that. As far as I'm concerned, they've spent a ton of money recently. That's not to say that they couldn't have done better or that we shouldn't have bought a midfielder earlier, X, Y, and Z, but they've spent a ton of money. And instead of getting all hung up on net spend and things like that, it's important to remember what they've done in the market too.
Hey, Steve, are you aware that in order for the definition of transition to have been met, it's required that 6 players go out and 6 come in? Were you aware?
Transition is 6 coming out, 6 coming in. Not.
Yeah, it's required. It's so you can't have 5. If 5 players go out and 5 come in, it's not a transition. Okay, cannot classify it as that. So
I don't understand. I think we're gonna move on from this because this makes absolutely zero sense. What I'm reading here. But so half the squad sold. Who did we sell? We sold players that didn't play.
We sold.
And Mane. He wanted to leave. He wanted to leave. You do not keep a player here against his will. He wants to go. See you later.
It's unreal, dude.
Origi, Minamino, they were barely gonna play.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to sell these players. We tried to sell Nat Phillips. Of course, there's a lot of interest surrounding Oxlade-Chamberlain. You got to sell these guys, all right? And this is a transitional period. Klopp's original squad, he hadn't really sold anybody. Think about it, okay? He didn't really sell anyone up
just
until
kept adding people.
He just kept adding people. So there's a transition going on now. Players are leaving consistently every transfer window. And now we're bringing in big players. Darwin Nunez is a big signing, okay? Huge signing. He hasn't really hit the ground running yet, but I'm sure he will. Give him time. All right, by the way, did you watch his Uruguay highlights?
I did not.
Nothing special. He had one really good shot, like screamer from outside the box. But are you nervous at all about him performing? Or you think we'll be all right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I also think it's very, very early in the season, and I'm not hitting the panic button yet. I'm not hitting the panic button because no one's worried about Arsenal. Legit long term, no. Like if you're worried about Arsenal, you haven't watched this league for the past 7 years.
Look, just to play devil's advocate on that, though, past performance does not indicate like what they are right now.
For Arsenal, it does. Because they don't have a world-class manager and they don't have world-class players.
That's a
So
fair
you will
point.
not win the Premier League without either of those.
I didn't say win the Premier League, but I mean they could very well finish top 4. They're performing very well right now.
Yes, they also haven't played anybody. And it's not to say that we have. I mean, we played United, but Arsenal hasn't played anybody, and the team they played, they lost.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Or
Philip
drew.
Bidwell, what's
One of the
going
two.
on? I haven't seen Philip in a while. We sold fringe players who wanted to leave, but not all fringe players that should have been sold were. Now, yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying there. And Ross says here, and someone else said it earlier, this season has been just so stop-start. It's crazy. Hopefully the international break freshens everybody up. And I kind of want to transition. Oh, excuse me. I kind of want to move back to talking about Arthur for a minute. Okay. I don't know about you, Steve, but I like to see a player's on loan. Like we do have an option to buy, but he's on loan. He doesn't really have any loyalty to the club yet, right? But I'm seeing this effort from him. He hired his own nutritionist, fitness coach. He stayed behind to play extra minutes with the U21s. It's kind of what you want to see, right? It kind of makes me feel a little bit good inside that I'm seeing that dedication from a player that, has no obligation to perform for the club. He's just here on loan. So, and especially with the risks of injuries in the midfield, I don't want to feel like Klopp can't utilize his bench. I want him to feel like he can go to this guy we loaned, put him in, and he's going to do a job. And I watched the highlights of him last night because, guys, I haven't really been following Arthur. He was nowhere on our radar until we loaned him. Nowhere. Okay, loaned him. He played at Barcelona, Juventus. He's played at the top clubs. He's not bad, Steve. He's not bad. He's a hell of a passer, let me tell you that, and he can dribble really well. There's some clips of him tackling. I wouldn't say he's the strongest. Wouldn't say he's the best finisher, but again, he's a midfielder.
I think he's going to fill that Hendo role. If he can get up to fitness, I think he's going to play because we know Hendo can pass. He's Hendo. We've seen a decline.
Very
in Hendo
underrated
since the year.
passer. Yeah.
Hendo's best season was the year we won the league. He was unreal that year. He was in the conversation for player of the year. Now, we've seen a decline in him, but I think Arthur's not going to give you a ton of goals. But if he can pass, if he has rangy passes, that's great. He's not afraid to put in a tackle and play defense either. I don't know if he's going to have the work rate that Hendo has, but
Right. Yeah.
I think that's what we're missing there. Because if Hendo can't perform,
right,
and Milner's getting older and can't really rely on him for a full match anymore, then somebody's got to fill that role.
Yeah. Yeah.
That third midfielder, especially because it looks like it's no doubt Harvey and Fabinho, the first two names on the midfielder team sheet. That's what I'm envisioning. That's what I'm seeing. Then that third piece, some would say Carvalho, but that changes the dynamic of the team.
Well, right now, Thiago's in there too. You can't forget about Thiago. Right now, Thiago's in there too.
Right. No. Of course. I'm sorry. So, but the next person up after those three is that Hendo person. So maybe he can take that role. Maybe he can jump Hendo on the depth chart there. Also, forgot about Thiago because he had been hurt for so long.
Yeah, and we really missed him. You saw it in our last match. Ryan Johnson here says we need more like Thiago. His link-up passes are phenomenal. Yep, maybe that's what Archer's going to be. Steve kind of touched on it with Hendo being a phenomenal passer. Jesus, excuse me. Maybe that's what Arter can be. We can also see it from Elliott and Carvalho. Their link-up, they have a lot of potential. Very young. I'm very excited to see what they turn into in a year or two time frame. Even this season, we've seen it from both of them. I think right now, would you argue, Steve, that our best fit midfield is Fabinho, Thiago, Elliott?
Yeah. No doubt. And if you say anything other than that, you haven't been watching.
It's kind of interesting that we consider that, because last season, even when Elliott came back and was healthy, that was not our best midfield. The second Elliott steps on the pitch, everyone's kind of like, He may not. What does he have? 1 goal, 1 assist, something like that. Maybe even not an assist. Maybe just 1 goal. He might not be the most productive player, but when he's on the pitch, you see what he does. His link up is there, especially on that right side
Mhm.
with Salah and Trent. I like what I see from Elliott.
He will start to produce. I do believe that. I'm wearing his kit right now, by the way.
Of course.
He will start to produce. It is a little frustrating to me that we haven't seen more because I think he's got the skill. I just think players in that position don't get as many opportunities in our system, personally, because you have Salah, who's going to pretty much take every chance from the right side of
Every
the pitch. I feel like,
Yeah. Yep.
but when Elliott gets a chance, like I will say, he's not afraid to shoot, and he's got a hell of a shot on him.
Yeah, he really does have a nice left foot, doesn't he?
How many times have we wanted players like outside the box or from the edge of the box to shoot? Like if he gets that, he's
So
shooting.
much. Yes, he's shooting. And Luis Diaz has got a little bit in that too.
Yeah, we love that. It's about time.
God damn. There's nothing
The
like
only one that
players
would do it was Ox, and Ox was either hitting one, no finesse whatsoever, except for that outside of the foot shot against Genk in the Champions League
Oh yeah,
2019.
that was kind of sick. Yeah.
No finesse from Ox at all. He would just hit lasers. They were either going into row 400 or they were burning a hole in the back of the net.
That's so accurate. So accurate. Fabinho too, man. No finesse, just lasers.
Fabinho hasn't even taken a shot like that, I feel like, in seasons.
Yeah, man. He had one against Crystal Palace last season, I think. An absolute destruction laser through the back of the net. Same exact shot as against Man City.
Oh, that
And
was last season?
no, maybe it was 2 seasons ago because I don't think there were many fans in the stands. So I think it was 2 seasons ago. But you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you remember that one. So yeah, 1920. Wait, no. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
What?
I don't know. I might be going crazy, dude. Either way.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
Queasy
I'm
E,
reading the
shout
chat
out.
here.
What's going on? Oyvind, good morning to all our channel members. Shout out to everyone.
Lyle Smith says
Lyle.
Arthur is cover for Thiago and Naby. He's talented, but he's not any kind of long-term solution. Couple things to dissect here. One, hello. I don't recognize your name. Welcome. And Thiago, sure, maybe. I think maybe Thiago
I
Hendo would
actually
be more
agree with
accurate
this.
here.
I agree
I
with
don't
that.
think Naby's all done.
He's finished.
I don't mean finished like quality injuries. I mean, like, I don't know if we're going to see him play again. I don't know what's happening with him. And nobody does.
Dude, I think what happened is that we want to extend him. He doesn't want to extend because he's upset with the amount of playing time he's get. Nabi, are you nuts? You have to be healthy to play.
Dude, he does play, though. I don't understand.
That's what I don't. When
Like,
he's healthy, he plays. When he's healthy, he always plays. So I don't know if that's just a cover up. I think something went on behind the scenes because he's not even on the bench, dude.
yeah, and like, yeah, you might not start every match, but that's because of the quality. Also, you're also not, even when you're there in a kit on match day, that does not mean you're 100% fit. But like, we've started you in major Champions League games, major title deciding league games. You've
Yep.
been one of the first names on the team sheet, almost to a fault by Klopp. You have the longest leash of any player I've seen in the last 6-7 years. The longest leash. It's like you can do no wrong.
That's an interesting point.
I mean, you think about all these other players that are constantly injured. Like when Ox came back fit last year, he didn't sniff the pitch. Nabi, first game, probably started. Even Elliott came back from that long spell. He got playing time, but not as much as Cato would. Elliott barely got playing time. Especially after we saw him in that Inter game getting overrun. So
Queasy E brings up a good point here. I was thinking about this the other day. So I don't think he was happy with Mane leaving. You know, as as kind of cynical and immature as that point or that would be for a player to be upset with the club, I actually get it because Nabi coming in knowing Mane, they were friends, right? I mean, a lot of times that plays a big role in a player adjusting to a club. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm not saying that's the reason why, but it's actually a good point to bring up. So shout out to Queasy there. Gary Richards
I
says
don't know
Nabi
about
Ak
that,
should.
man.
I mean, I don't like I said, I don't think it's the main reason. I think that definitely played a role, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about it the other day.
Think
Um,
about all the relationships we see like highlighted in the media. Like, I don't know, Lovren and Salah. Like that's a big one, right?
that's a big one. Yeah.
That's a huge one. Then you have Van Dyke and Matip. They joke on each other. They love each other.
It
Trent and
used to be
Robbo,
Van
they
Dyke and
roast each
Gomez.
other. They have a healthy competition. What's that?
It used to be Van Dyke and Gomez.
Right. But like
Yeah.
there's all these Bobby and everybody and Thiago
Yeah.
and Diaz, the pregame
Hendo
rituals. Like
Lallana. Yeah.
I didn't see that with Nabi and Mane. I didn't see them looking all close and tight, to be
Well,
frank.
no. I get that, but they're not very social butterflies either. Like they're not, you know what I mean? Like they're very private people. You know, like Lovren
Mm.
and Salah are all over social media, joking on each other, roasting each other in the comments, that kind of thing, right? Doing the videos and whatnot. Mane would do some videos with Salah, right? But the behind the scenes videos, the when they interview the players, Nabi wasn't part of any of that. Like he never really immersed himself in the culture of the club. Now, to be fair, there's a huge cultural shock. I don't think his English is the best. And I'm not saying that players whose English isn't the best can't immerse themselves in the club and be, because look at Bobby. Bobby still does it. He still doesn't have the best English. You know what I mean?
No, but
But I guess my
Bobby,
point,
he's come a
he
long
seems,
way. What a
he
legend.
seems, yeah, but he seems distant. The whole time he's here, he seemed distant. You know what I mean?
Who, Bobby?
No, Nabi. Sorry. It sounds similar.
Oh,
Nabi.
I've never heard him speak ever.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think never mind.
No.
He's
Who?
wearing
What?
the number 8. He's wearing the
Oh,
number
yeah,
8.
true.
And that's big shoes to fill. He never filled them and he gets bashed in the nicest thing anybody's ever said about him is just like the little Nabby Lad nickname. That's it. He's gotten constantly bashed because he's never done anything.
There's a lot of
He's
pressure on
almost
him,
never
dude.
done anything. And I think that didn't help either. But still, you're in the technically, what is he, 27?
Yeah, dude,
28?
he's young. He's so young. He's like
I mean,
27,
that's supposed to
26,
be your
27.
prime. And I don't think he's injured, bro.
Neither do I. I
But
think he's
what?
been
But are you going
exiled.
to waste an entire season? You probably only get, as a pro, on average, 8 quality seasons.
He's been
Quality
exiled,
at the
dude.
highest level. What?
He's been exiled. I
You
think he's
think
been
so?
exiled.
Klopp loves him, dude.
I, I,
But
I
When
want to
Klopp said
think
he
that.
fell, I don't know, in that interview,
That's what
that's
I'm
when I knew
saying.
everything was different. Yeah,
Like, what is that? What is that? What he fell? What is that?
that was sarcasm.
Yeah, like sarcasm, not sarcasm,
Yeah,
sarcasm.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
I was stuck in between sarcastic and sarcasm.
I know. I think Klopp was just fed up with how injured he was, and it was just like, Nabi fell. He's done. It's like,
It's really it's the most disappointing thing I've seen, besides
agreed.
like the games we've lost, the important games, is the fact that he never panned out. I wasn't excited about any player like I was for him. That's not Nunez. Sacco. That's
Dude,
not
Sacco
Nunez.
was straight exiled.
Yo. Okay, that's true. What a legend, by the way.
Yo, I love
Um,
Mamadou.
Left-footed.
Yeah,
So
best striker this club's ever seen.
yeah, definitely up there. There was nothing we were more excited for, Kyle. I think we can both agree on that. Not Nunez, Diaz, not
No, Keita,
Salah,
yes, we were all
not
excited for
Allison,
Keita.
Fabinho. Nothing.
Yep, I
What'd
agree.
you say?
No, I agree 100%. I was more excited for Keita than anybody. And I don't know if partially it was because of the buildup. We agreed him a year ahead of time, so we were waiting. But it was just because he was good. He was good. And he still
Hmm.
is good. He's just never healthy.
I
Never
don't think he's good
healthy.
anymore.
I think
I think he's
mentally
just a body. I think he just gives you a shift, an average shift.
yeah.
Go watch his highlights from his last year in the Bundesliga. Or maybe the year before his last year. Because I think in that last year, he was getting like cards and like freaking out and stuff, if I remember correctly.
No, you're absolutely right. So not only that, but he was not going off, but he got in fights with his teammates in training matches. Like he injured a player in training with like a horrible tackle or something. And I know you guys remember this. Like this was like a huge report. Um, but it kind of got swept under the rug. Like no one talks about that anymore. That doesn't just go away. Like yeah, I feel like something's going on with Nabi. Like he's got a temper tantrum or something. And it breaks my heart because we were all excited. We all saw the potential. It just never panned out. And Ross says here it likely will probably be the first loss. And the thing is that if we don't extend his contract, it's up after this season, isn't it? I think he would leave on a free.
Yeah.
And
They're probably they got to be trying to sell him.
they have to be. And I know someone said, I think you actually said that Nabi's going for 15 or 20 mil. You said that recently.
Maximum.
Dude, I think he's 30. We can get 30 for Nabi. I'm sorry. We can get 30 for him.
I can't wait until it happens, if it happens. Because you're gonna go, wow, you were right. He's not worth a damn thing. Because in the market, he might seem to be worth 30, maybe even 40 to some
No,
people that
not
have
40.
him high valued. But he doesn't play a whole year. And that's not a secret. So you can't hide that in there. The fee has to be cut at least 30%. I think he's probably worth 25.
Oh, now you're
I
up to
think that's the
25.
highest you could get for him. But I think he will go for 15 because he's a scrub.
But can you
And there's sketchy behavior going on in his injuries. 15, 17 max.
here's my question here for Liz. Because I'm almost positive you can't sell a player with 6 months left, right? They're free to negotiate with other clubs. I mean, of course you can sell him with 6 months left on his contract, but wouldn't teams wait until he's free? Right? Wouldn't that be the smart business decision?
Maybe he has an extra year that we don't know about.
Let me pull
I'm
up the
not sure.
contract here. Let me pull up Liverpool contracts. Just want to get the most for each player that we can possibly get. And this one better be updated.
For this one, honestly, I don't even think it's that serious. I think it's just get rid of him. Like, we're not going to pinch pennies and do a good bit of business. Just get rid of him. If you can sell him before he leaves on a free, see you later. Take 10 million and laugh your way to the bank.
That's absolutely terrible business if we took that amount of money for him.
So what? Keep him for 6 months and not play him and
No,
lose him for
no.
free?
Dude, I'm just saying 10 million. 10 million?
But if he's not going to play, Kyle, if he's not going to play, then 5 million is a plus. If he's not going to play, if he's not happy, then you take anything just to get him off the books in January. You take any amount.
Oh, dude, that's kind of funny. Fuck. Excuse me. I'd never say that. I'm trying to pull up contracts here for everyone just to look here. All right, so let me share the stream with everybody here, or my screen, excuse me. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you're enjoying the stream, everyone. Shout out to everyone contributing in the comments. Your input's great, especially because we don't have a lot to talk about. You guys, believe it or not, you give us things to talk about, so we appreciate that. A lot of times we just wing it. All right, so let's pull this up here. So these are the current contracts with everyone here expiring in 2023. So, of course, Bobby Firmino expiring in 2023. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Steve, I just want you to look at this real quick. Look at Naby Keita's value.
But what is that? Why are you showing me that? We can't get that for him, Kyle.
Yes, we can, Steve. Yes, we
No,
can.
we
You could put
cannot.
me on the phone with the teams and I could negotiate that value.
All right, guys, let's do a little poll here. There is we're going to choose a number. What are you saying, Kyle? 25, 30?
I think we could get between 25 and 30 million pounds for him.
Okay. I'm going to say, well, now you're
You
confusing me
said
with the
15
currency.
to
You're
20.
confusing me with the currency. So let's just keep it simple.
Okay, let's keep it
25 to
simple.
30 or 15 to 20. Those
Okay,
are the two ranges. 20 to 25, that's in between. So I want everyone to let us know who's more spot on here. Me for 15 to 20 or Kyle for 25 to 30.
All right, put
And what is
Steven or
realistic?
Kyle in the chat. Put Steven or Kyle. Who is closer?
Yes. For what we could realistically sell this injury-prone, temper tantrum-ridden player for right now. And I will mention, you can see a market value on the screen. Don't let that persuade you.
Yeah. So, anyways, and look at this. It's so crazy, dude. He's injured, and I don't even know what this little sign means. But while you guys are doing that, let's look at this. Bobby's contract expires June 30th at the end of this season. I would love to keep Bobby around for a year by year basis. I would love to extend him for another year. Arthur, of course, we have the option to buy at the end of the season for 37.5 million pounds. I think the loan fee is roughly 5 million, 4 to 5 million, give or take. I think it's 4 million with 800,000 in add-ons. Ox, see you later. But look at Ox's value, dude, 14.3 million. That is a damn shame. James Milner expiring at the end of the season, and then Adrian. Adrian, see you later. 1.1 mil. James Milner still worth 2.2. He's still holding strong.
He could be an absolute baller for some other clubs.
All right, here we go. Here we go. The things are coming in here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm going to take a tally here. So Queasy says Kyle. So you got one.
Okay. Steven,
right.
you got Liz.
And then I got Ryan, Inglese, Ross. Then I have Liz. Then I'm going to keep going.
I got my mom, so you suck.
Oh, man.
Damn, I think Steve won.
Lyle. We're going to go 5 for me. Kyle, I'll give you your mom. Even
Well,
though I know
I
she
would
doesn't,
hope so.
she's not paying attention to this.
No, she's literally said it right there. So
I see it, but I don't think she knows what we're asking. And that's fine. So right now it's 5-2. And I gave you an
you
iffy
win.
one.
You win.
Oyvind says, are you saying Keita is worth 10 times as much as Milner? That's the most thought-provoking, smart comment I've ever seen.
I honestly agree. Dude, Oyvind has some heaters in here, man.
Oyvind, that goes in the legendary cabinet. The one we don't keep or speak of, but it's there.
It's there. It's honestly a good question because, wow, that's it. When you put it in that kind of perspective, it's like it should be the other way around. James Milner's 10 times worth of Naby Keita.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
But anyways, look, the only one on this sheet, actually there's two. The only two on this sheet who I think, dude, honestly, James Milner might just join the coaching staff after this season. But Bobby Firmino should be extended on a year-to-year basis, I think. I don't want to see Bobby go at all.
No, he's actually played relatively well this year.
Yes, he really has. He started out well. He's among our leading scorers and assist leaders, by the way, guys. I think he has 3 and 3 or 4 and 3 right now. He's doing really well.
He started the first few games when we were really struggling. He didn't look great, but he's got a role in the team, and Nobody else can do what he does. I'm sorry. No one else can replicate that link-up play.
Right. We do have some players that could potentially replicate the link-up play. Carvalho, maybe.
Down the
Elliot.
line, perhaps.
Yeah, potentially. Another thing I just wanted to say is shout out to Kostas Tsimikas. Okay, quietly working his way once again into the conversation to start over Robertson. I know it's random. I just wanted to say, just quietly doing it, okay? Because no one's going to criticize Robbo. Everyone loves Robbo. Everyone knows that Robbo is an absolute legend. But Kostas Tsimikas is working his way into that argument. Okay? Just wanted to say that. All right.
Klopp
Any other
won't make
thoughts?
that change.
I don't know. Robbo is another one of those players that Klopp just absolutely loves.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's good. It's good to rotate.
Wow, Bobby's going to be 31 in a few days, or in like a week.
What?
Bobby's going to be. That's insane. He's going to be 31 years old.
He's a legend.
Oh God, I love that man.
Yeah, he's the best Brazilian in Premier League history. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yep.
And we're just going to leave it there. I think. So, wait. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I know. That's what Bobby does, dude.
You threw me off with Bobby. What was I talking about?
I don't know. You daydreaming about Bobby now?
No, I don't know. I lost it. Oh, Costas.
Oh,
yeah. It's like they both deserve to play, but you can't justify like one over the other for every single match.
No.
Like in a perfect world, they'd both say, okay, we're fine playing 50-50.
Yeah.
But Robbo's too hungry. He's the captain of Scotland. It's different. It's
Robbo's in
different,
his prime.
man.
Robbo's in his prime right now. And if you were to tell me to split it by a percentage, he might be on the back nine of his prime, but he's still there. Okay, he's still there.
Yeah.
Robbo should play 75% of the matches. Kostas should start the other 15. Okay? Kostas is too good to only be subbed on for 20 minutes a match every other game. I'm sorry. He needs to start more than that. I'm going to say it, he has a better cross than Robbo does. He does. He's also a better dribbler than Robbo is. Robbo has negative right foot.
1 foot. Robbo has 1 foot.
Robbo has negative right foot. He might as well just you cut it off. You don't need it. He has one leg.
That's like Fabinho with his left.
But Fabinho can hold on to the ball. That's the difference. Like, dude. But anyways.
Wait. This is good.
Yeah.
Costa should play against the lower sides. Those games where you want some fresh legs, a team you should beat, and he'll just put in a crazy shift for you. But I still would trust Robbo in a big match against, like, we have major matches coming up, Kyle.
We do.
And that's something I think we should look at here.
Let's look it up.
City is on the horizon. We have the Champions League. Chelsea? Or did that one get postponed?
Chelsea got postponed, but I don't know to when. Oh, dude,
there are some real matches.
This month, the amount of matches we have this month is insane. We play a game every 3 days. All right, let me share this.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
All right, here we go. So we see here that Chelsea was postponed, and now we're looking at next match is the first against Brighton. So
Oyvind says we have no matches. It's been too long. Elevator and Escalator fan 6. First of all, that name is incredible. I think Kostic should start. Robbo is good, but sometimes he tends to lose his head. Remember the Tottenham match where he got a red card? I think we're looking at this under a microscope if you think that has any. Like, I think that's just too fine and too granular of a detail there.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather see Robbo covering Mahrez in a big match against City. I just feel more comfortable.
I agree.
But when Costas plays, like you're just like, man, you look sloppy out there. Like he just looks disheveled. Of course, he looks tired. We know that. It's like he's really good. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
And every time he plays, you're like, damn, man, like maybe you should start more. But here we go. Let's look at this.
All right.
Let's just say Chelsea, Brighton, Champions League, Arsenal, Champions League, City. That's insane.
Yeah, that is, and not only that, but let's keep scrolling down. That's half the month, Steve. Isn't that crazy? That's half the month. Look at this. This is the remainder of the month. Okay, excluding
West
the bottom
Ham,
2 games.
they're trash. Nottingham, trash. Champions
Ajax
League,
and then Leeds. Dude, I'm sorry. Nottingham's not trash. Neither is West Ham. You can't say that. They've had bad starts, but I don't even think Nottingham Forest has had a bad start. I think West Ham has had the bad start. But dude,
I mean, those 3 teams are garbage.
Okay.
West Ham, Forest, and Leeds.
Okay, they're garbage.
They're Premier League teams, and they of course they can be tough, but those should all be healthy wins.
That's a different argument. Should we win? Yes, no question. But that doesn't mean they're trash.
Well, let's look at the table in a minute, but keep going.
Well, that's October. So, but then you go into November, Napoli, Tottenham to start off the month. So these are right on. It is going to be a tough 40 days, dude. The next 40 days are insanely difficult. Wow. And then we get the Chelsea game was postponed to the 21st or the 23rd of January. Oh, that's the year. Jesus. I thought they put 2 days down. Like we play them twice. January 21st, 23rd. Oh my God, 2023. Okay. But don't forget, we have this huge gap for the World Cup. So.
So when do we play next?
October 1st, Saturday. Against Brighton. Against Brighton.
Okay.
That
has to be a win, of course.
It has to be, but Brighton are playing great football. They
are, but we are still better than them. I'm sorry. We have to win that match.
Well, there's no question.
All this rest, all this time. We are better than them at every single position in the 11. Every single position. You list their starting 11, keeper, right back, everybody against ours. Line them up. We're better down the whole list.
I get it.
So that has to be a win.
I know.
And Graham Potter, see ya. He's gone.
Yeah. And then he'll be at Chelsea for about 19 months, and then he'll get fired, and Chelsea will move on to the
I
next
think you're
manager.
talking less. I think he'll be there till the end of the season, maybe.
Dude, Chelsea have a problem.
When Chelsea come knocking, it's the life-changing thing that can happen. There's something different about Potter that I really liked. And it was the fact that he was at Brighton and he turned them into a really solid, like they get results, man. They grind out results. Brighton and Hove Albion should, like, we used to laugh at them just a handful of years ago. Like, they weren't good. He's turned them into a top half side.
Well, they weren't good, but they stayed up. They built. And now I think Lallana's the interim head coach. I don't know if they ended up getting a new coach.
There was something going on with that. But I thought Potter would say, I was hoping he'd stay at Brighton and wait for a different, bigger job to come, because Chelsea is where you go to get recycled.
Oh, like, that's somewhat accurate. No, that has been true, because if you look at Sterling, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, you're absolutely right. You're getting all these players getting recycled.
I'm talking about as a manager. Like, I really respect Potter, and I wanted him to stay at Brighton and just wait until, like, I don't know, maybe Arsenal came knocking, or like maybe Tottenham came knocking, because Conte's not going to stay there long term. He likes to bounce around. He likes to jump around.
I honestly
just a different club for you, because Chelsea will throw you in the trash as soon as they sign you, and then he's going to be like, damn, I'm jobless. I was on the up and up. I was in great standing in the football world with Brighton, and now I'm at Chelsea, and now I'm in the trash. Now I'm sitting on the side of the road with a cup begging for change. Like this. Jingle, jingle.
Oh my God. Look, I'm on the side that I like Graham Potter. I love what he did with Brighton, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what sucks in the football world is that there really isn't loyalty, and with managers especially. I mean, if you have an up and coming manager at a team like Brighton, right? Let's say Brighton, who's historically a mid-table team since they've been in the Premier League. This season they're playing great football. They're in the top half, but they are a mid-table team. But when you have a manager that has really turned around what Brighton did or what Brighton were in just what, 2 or 3 seasons, they're going to get called up and go somewhere, right? I mean, it happens. It happens
It's
to
just the
every
worst place
manager.
to go, man.
Yeah, no,
Chelsea
no,
is the
but the thing
worst
is,
place to go.
but the thing is, if you're put yourself in his shoes, like obviously we can sit back here and say, no, I wouldn't go to Chelsea. Chelsea are just going to treat me like trash. Then they wave that paycheck in your face. And Graham's like, oh, sign me up. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like they're double, tripling in what he was making at Brighton
sure.
easily.
But I bet you he could have said to Brighton, like, hey, this is what they're paying me. Can you match this? And I bet you they would have. Because he is
That's a great point.
within reason. I mean, I don't think he's making 10 million a year. He might be making 2, 3. I don't know. But Brighton can afford to pay him. So for him, it's about he believes in himself. Every manager that goes to Chelsea believes they can be the manager that doesn't get tossed because they all have egos. They all have a bit of that, like, that narcissistic isn't the word, but you understand, like they believe in themselves. Like they're the ones that can change things. Unfortunately, as Ryan Johnston says here, Potter gone by January. Now, I think that's a little bit of nobody else believes in him. Like I'm inside the Chelsea org believe in him because it's not about him. It's about the volatility of the owners. Like Tuchel should not have been tossed. I'm sorry.
No,
He just won the
dude,
Champions League and he just made a push in the Premier League, the toughest league in the world. They were in the mix until Christmas.
they lost their opening Champions League match, and that's why they tossed him. Okay?
Dude, they also played us in 2 finals. They were in 2 finals last year. They won the Champions League the year before, I think.
We don't know the ins and outs of the club, right? Maybe there's a big push from the fans and like I don't know. All I'm saying is that these managers at Chelsea should not be tossed. I mean, look at
Oh,
Maurizio
Lampard
Sarri.
should have.
Well, yeah, Lampard was really bad. But Maurizio Sarri, for example, okay? I'm pretty sure he won a trophy. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. No, he won the Premier League. I think he won the Premier League. And they tossed him the next season before it even started. I could be wrong there. But it's just remarkable the turnover rate of managers at Chelsea. It's astounding. And it's not like they're doing bad. Like, yes, Thomas Tuchel had a little bit of a decline this season compared to his previous seasons. But look at Klopp and Liverpool. Klopp's not getting tossed. Like, you gotta, I don't know.
It's weird because you'd think with Abramovich gone, like this would change.
No.
But the new owner comes in and then you toss the best manager you've had in years?
Yo, how American is it that he comes in, and I just think it's funny. He's been owning the club for what, a couple months, and he goes, "There should be an all-star game." Did you see that?
Yeah.
Dude,
did.
I was like, this guy, bro.
Yo, it's crazy. It's insane because Potter is a good manager, but you're just set up like you can never get comfortable, dude. Tuchel comes in, turns them into statistically, I believe, in 2020, 2 years ago, the best defensive team in Europe. A little bit after he took over, they weren't even letting up goals.
Yeah,
They won.
Yeah.
They had an insanely hard road to the Champions League. They beat Madrid. They beat City in the final. They beat a lot of teams that year. That was insane.
Yeah.
Then the next year, which I believe was last year, correct me if I'm wrong, they were top of the table for a little bit. Then they were second. Then whatever. They were in the mix for half of the year, and then they finished top 4. Like, what else can you expect? You can't expect to be number 1 out of 20 when Liverpool and City are in the same league as you right now,
Yeah.
at least lately. They also played us in the FA Cup and the other final. So he's made it into 2 finals. They made a little run in the Champions League. How can you toss this man? They
You're
just
preaching to the
don't
choir.
care. Because do they think it's going to change anything? Like, do they
Dude,
think bringing in Potter is going to keep them, is going to like rise them up the table? There's a transition period now. There's a new system. There's new formations that are going to happen. You're taking a step backwards
Can I just bring
to
something
go
up
forward.
also? Can I just bring something up also? Think about how often these managers have not even an overhaul, but just a huge influx of new signings, and then they're fired a month later. It's insane. Look at who they brought in. They brought in Cucurella. They brought in Koulibaly. They brought in Raheem Sterling. They brought in Aubameyang, and then they just fire their coach. It's like, Graham Potter, does he want any of these players, bro?
Probably not, dude.
Oh my god.
I mean, Sterling, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
he's got
Sterling.
players to work with now. There's no class at Brighton. There's almost no class at Brighton.
I
World
disagree with
class. There's
that.
nothing.
I would disagree with that. There's no
Okay,
world
who's
class.
world class at
There's
Brighton,
class.
Kyle?
There's class.
Who's world class?
I didn't say world class. I said there's class.
All right, who's class at Brighton, Kyle?
I think Trossard is class.
Okay, well, Trossard's a super sub most of the time. I like him, but
I think Mwepo is class. I think Dunk and Webster are class. I think Dunk is still there. Yeah. And then you got
no, he's a great manager. That's the only thing they have.
you got some other players there that are class, bro. Don't do that to me. And
Who is
Lallana,
it?
yeah.
Basuma? Was it Basuma that he went to
Basuma
Tottenham?
was there. Now he's at Tottenham warming the bench.
Okay, that's the only player anybody wanted from that team because there was only one really good player on the team, and it's him.
Trossard is good. I don't care what.
Actually, Maupay got sold.
Yeah, but he's at Everton now, and I'm telling you, Trossard is good.
He is good. He is good. Ryan Johnson says McAllister.
McAllister's good also. Yeah, he's pretty solid. Moises Cancedo. They have class players. I'm gonna say it. They do. They don't have world class players, but they have class players. Okay. And like
all I'm
Liz
saying
says,
is Potter's coming in and looking at his list that he can choose for a starting 11, and he's like, "Whew, about time."
Or he's sweating. He's like, "Oh God, I don't know who to pick. Who knows? Maybe
well,
he'll
who's going in goal,
dude. Well, yeah, you know who's going. It's not Kepa.
No, and he's reunited with Cucurella.
Oh, that's the difference maker right there. Sold.
But that doesn't look good for Chilwell.
Good God.
Chilwell, we'll see you later. 50 million.
Oh, dude, Chilwell.
Now you're gone.
It's an absolute joke. So, look, I think we spent enough time on Chelsea. Graham Potter, big fan. Chelsea, hate him. So, look, Steve, we kind of touched on everything today. We talked a little bit about Arthur. We talked about the quote-unquote transition. Rommel's gone. See ya. Rommel went to some other stream to get pissed off at. But there is a transitional period going on right now. We talked about the contract situation in terms of who might extend next season. And then we kind of just chatted up about Brighton. So, it's good Sunday summary. Steve, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, this was good just to shoot the breeze about random stuff.
Yeah, it's
shout
good
out
to get
Rommel,
back into
who
it.
came in and shook the earth in the beginning with the transition definitions and
that was a good
groundbreaking
I
stuff.
enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. That was good.
I don't think he's here anymore. But
no, he's gone. He got too pissed. He's gone. Yeah. Thank you to everyone in the chat, our channel members, Hannah, Ryan Johnson, Liz. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate all your support. Super chats as well. Thank you very much. If you guys are interested in becoming a channel member, you can always look at the button down below the chat. It says join. There's like a little money sign too, I think, but don't worry about that. Channel member gets perks, and that's what we want to give you guys, a little bit of extra content, a little bit of extra, perks of being a channel member if you're supporting the channel. So thank you very much. And we got some content coming up this week for you guys. It's limited, of course, because we're still on international break, but we're back next Saturday against Brighton. Let's get it rolling, Steve. Thanks for being here, man. And until next time, Reds, take care.